I've started the recording, and welcome everybody to this remote interview. My name is Lisette. I'm interviewing people and companies doing great things remotely and just hearing their stories. And today I have Ralph van Roosmalen, and you're from the Netherlands, right? And I know,
Yes, sorry.
even though I can speak Dutch, I still have this horrible American accent. So why don't you pronounce your name the way it's supposed to be said?
To be,
Tell us about your background, because we've talked about it right before this recording started, but it's brilliant.
yes. First, my name. It's Ralph van Roosmalen. My background, yes. You mean the physical background here?
Yes, we'll get into the other stuff in a second.
Yes. It's a wallpaper. We have one room in our company that is more decorated like a living room to have interviews, relaxed talks with people. And one of the things that we did in this room, put a huge wallpaper on the wall from the seaside in the Netherlands, I think. Yes, it is. And I realized that you mentioned once that it is important to have a good background when you have an interview or a remote call. So I thought about that and thought, hey, let's use this room because I think it looks very nice. And
yeah, I mean, with the way that I mentioned before, with the way that the screen is sort of shimmering, it looks like there's actually water moving in the background. I hope that comes across on the video, but absolutely.
I'm really in the office.
So nice. I'm really going to be fawning over this for a while. It's so nice. I hope other people are inspired like this too. I think I'll take a picture to inspire people to do this. But I see on your LinkedIn profile that you call yourself an innovative Agile enabler, which I want to ask you about, and also a Management 3.0 enthusiast, which is how I met you.
Yes, indeed.
Management 3.0 work. So what does innovative Agile enabler mean?
I believe that I'm in management, and I believe that management should enable people to do their job, not to say what they should do, but give them all the space, all the room to do their job, and make sure that they got all the facilities they need. That is for me enablement. Innovative is the part that I love to experiment with new things that I read on blogs, things that I see at conferences, things that I read in books. Try to experiment and to poke the system and to learn from that and see what teams help, what things that teams don't help, and to make teams like that more productive, more effective, have more fun with the teams. That's for me the innovative part.
And do you find resistance to these experiments? Or are people really excited about it?
Not resistant, but more people a little bit afraid of change. People really maybe focusing too much on daily work that they think, yeah, it's not for me, or that's too much of a hassle. Or I believe that small things, small change can already make a big difference. So it's not that people are resistant, but it's more afraid of the unknown, I think.
Right. Or just, oh, come on, I just want to do my job.
Indeed. And now you come with this experiment and you want to try that and just leave me alone. I want to do my job. I want to develop code, and I do it already like this for 5 years. So that is the best way to do it.
So it seems like an attitude that needs to be changed, both for Agile reasons. I'm sure on an Agile team, that kind of attitude isn't very handy, but also on any team, it wouldn't be very handy.
Yeah, I think this is not something related to RES. It's related to most of the companies in the market nowadays, that people are a bit of, people in general are a bit afraid of change. I mean, why should we change?
Well, also, change usually means that our rhythms are totally messed up, like the job ends or the project, or you have to move apartments, or I mean, these are big things that happen.
Yes, and that can have an impact on people. So we definitely should not underestimate that. And I believe that you don't have to change 20-50% in a week, but if you can change 1% a day, then at the end of the year, you have changed a lot, improved a lot.
So it's really doing the little things.
The little things, and also don't be afraid to say that you made a mistake or go back to the old situation if that proved to be better. I mean, it's not said that new things are always better, but at least you have to give it a chance and try it out.
Right. And in fact, I have to say, when working with Jürgen Appelo on his team, I would say it's really kind of 50% of stuff that we do doesn't work out. And then 50% of the stuff does work out. But in that way, we learn so much on the way there, and everything sort of seems to progress.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's really important to realize that 50% doesn't work out, and that you have the courage to say, okay, let's go back.
Yeah.
I mean, you always don't, and that's also being not try not to be too stubborn as a manager, as a coach, and also admit that you sometimes made a mistake.
So where did you get all this great? I mean, I know you're a management trio facilitator, so clearly, yeah. But there must be other management training that you've done as yourself. How do you improve yourself as a manager? I think lots of other managers would want to hear how you.
The question that I always ask with reviews is to people, what did you do to become a better developer last year or a better tester?
Oh.
Because people always tend to forget that, focus too much on the project and tend to forget the development stuff. And it's nice that you asked me that question now. What do? I go to conferences, visit conferences. I try to maintain my network, as we met in Rotterdam with the presentation of the new book of Jurgen, to exchange experiences. I went to the Dare Festival, so I try to visit conferences that can help me, where I think I can learn things. I try to read books not directly related to software development, but more related to people in general, or like non-violent communication, those kind of books. Because I think as a manager, you should look much broader than only management books that are directly related to management. Reading blogs, Management 3.0, your blog, other blogs on Google+, and also try to, as I said, maintain my network and exchange ideas, exchange concepts with people. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I think the most important thing to improve myself is to keep experimenting and to see what does it do with the people, with the team, what does it do with myself, and try to learn from that. And it's easier said than done, but I think that's one of the most important things, to have an open mind for things.
Yeah, and I can imagine somebody just listening, they might think like, wow, it just sounds like a lot of work. But in my experience, and also from speaking with people like yourself, it seems like doing this it's a lot of work, but it's also inspiring. It gives energy when you do things.
It definitely does. It definitely does. And about learning how did I develop myself, it's also going to the regular standard management training. And a lot of things that you learn over there, you can still apply in your current job. And maybe there are old-fashioned techniques, but it's not said that they are bad. Right. And what you can do is try to apply them to your situation, to your project, and try to change them a little bit to make them more agile or whatever you need. But I mean, for me, every training that I attend, I learn new things. Sometimes it's just reminding things that I've already learned, putting them in the toolbox, and the toolbox grows and grows. And with that, you get more experience. And when you encounter a new situation, you can use the toolbox, your experience so far, just to try it out.
Right. So now let's go and move into your experiences with remote teams. So are you currently working with a remote team, or was that in the past? Oh, it's currently. Okay. And is this the team in Romania then?
Yes, as RES, we got 30 people working in Romania, our development department. And I used to work with company Planon. And there we had a team in in India, sorry.
Okay.
So currently I'm involved with the remote team in Romania, in Bucharest.
And you're working with a team in the Netherlands. So there's two teams, one in the Netherlands, one in Romania.
And even a small team in the US, on the East Coast.
Okay.
So we got 3 locations.
I'm sorry?
We got 3 locations. We got 4 people in the US, around 45 in Den Bosch in the Netherlands, and 30 in Romania.
Okay, so that's a pretty big split. So now tell me about what is really hard about this situation for people.
Well, it's really hard. When you also look at the US, the time zone issues, that is really hard. The overlap that they have during the day, it's possible, of course, but that's one of the biggest challenges.
Like somebody's staying up late or somebody's working later than the hours, and somebody's doing earlier.
Indeed, and we just accept that the time slot is small, but a lot of time people have to make a sacrifice, indeed, as you said. I think the other biggest challenge is not being able to walk to each other, to hear what's going on in the room, and to have the small talk. I think that's one of the biggest challenges, because when the product owner in the Netherlands walks in and he discusses something with the team, everybody in the team is up to date. But definitely in the beginning, now it's improving, of course, but definitely in the beginning, nobody thought about, okay, let's call the guys in Romania to also update them about the outcome of this discussion, or about the fact that we even had this discussion.
Right.
So
They're
that is
not included. They don't even know it's happening.
no, indeed. And I'm in Romania every 3 weeks for 1 week to facilitate the team, to help the team, to manage the team. And I also noticed that I miss a lot of information that's going on in the Netherlands, things that are discussed at the coffee corner that you don't hear in Romania.
Right.
The problem is that the communication is only going literally via a small line, phone line, Skype line, and that's it. And all the information around it about things discussed at the coffee corner, the water cooler, emotions of people, body language, a lot of things are getting lost.
Right. Like, oh, my kids are sick. And I mean, those things, they matter because you know, like, oh, okay, I know that Luisa's kids are sick and maybe she's just not totally there today because she's distracted. But somebody in Romania would be like, what is the matter with this woman? Why is she, you know, they have no context.
Yeah. So
yeah.
What did we do to improve that? Because I think we managed to do that. Our experience is that as soon as people sign a job contract in Romania, they will provide them a training in Romania if possible. We will send our local trainer in the Netherlands to Romania to have that training on site for 1 week. And then we would like to have them as soon as possible for 2 weeks in the Netherlands.
Ah, so they also come.
Yes, definitely. For me, that's essential to the success. And there's maybe even one step before that. But let's focus first on this one. Because during those 2 weeks, the main reason that they come to the Netherlands is to get to know the team. To get to know that person has 2 daughters. That, I don't know, Dennis has a girlfriend. That to get to know the people behind the people.
Yeah,
so that
so
they know,
like stout beer and so.
Yeah, that they can talk about sports, that they can talk about things they do in the weekend, to build that relationship in the team. And then the second goal of the visit is to get to know the RES culture. How do we think? How do we do things at RES? How do we approach people? We just walk to them and ask, hey, I have a question. To get that feeling, to get that, to experience that. And then the third reason to visit the Netherlands is to transfer knowledge. But transferring knowledge can also be done by Skype or by Link. We use Link because that's just transferring facts, transferring knowledge, getting to know the people, really get to know the people. That's so important, in our opinion.
Right.
So they come over.
Transfer is faster in person. It must be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they come over for 2 weeks. Then after 3-4 weeks, we send one of the colleagues to Romania to help them on site again, to get them up to speed, but also to get to know, to let the Dutch people experience how it is to work in Romania, that they don't see everything that's discussed in the Netherlands, that they are aware of that they know, okay, it's like that to work remotely. And from that, we try to have everybody at least once a year traveling between the Netherlands and Romania.
Okay. So really, meeting face to face is very important.
It is important.
Yeah.
And webcam can replace a lot. Link can help a lot. But being able to see each other, being able to have a drink in the evening at the bar, local pub in the Bosch and city center, that's so great. And that helps build the team so much more. That really pays off in the end.
You know, I've been fighting this theory for a long time, but it comes up almost every interview that people think meeting face-to-face first, if you're going to work remotely, is critical. It's critical for the teams. Yeah. So, I mean, I stand corrected. I mean, it
is. And I think there's one step before that, and that's recruiting people. I think it's, in the Netherlands, we got a pretty good recruitment process. We did a talk about the XP days in the Netherlands, and we got good comments and good feedback from people. Hey, you're doing it professional. In Romania, we try to do it the same. It's a little bit different because the market is a little bit different, but everybody we hired in Romania, we interviewed ourselves because we want to know what kind of people we will have in the team. We could ask our partner in Romania to recruit the people for us, but we don't know if they know what kind of culture we are, what kind of people we are looking for. So for us, being involved in the recruitment of the remote team members is also essential, because there we already make the selection. Because interviews in Romania are done in Romanian, that makes sense. But when they have an interview with us, when we are there or via Link, we'll do it in English. And some candidates really have issues with talking English. And that's okay. I mean, I'm also not a native speaker, but it is essential to be able to communicate in English. And if during that interview the communication doesn't work out because English is not good enough, that could be one of the reasons to say no to a candidate, although it can be a very good, brilliant developer.
Right. But they need to be able to communicate with the team in the Netherlands and the US.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we also had candidates in Romania that were very shy during the interview because in the end, then they said, yeah, but you are the customer and we're a little bit nervous. Okay, but when you work remotely and you work within your team, you know the people, but you will have to contact people outside of the team within RES. And then you just have to call them and you have to be there. You have to stand up and bring your message and you cannot be shy. So when you have an interview with us and you are shy, I mean, you cannot help it, but for us, it's important that you can step over that shyness and that you can present yourself, because you will have to do that remotely often.
Right.
And that's for us.
Sorry.
Yes. That's also very important to recruit the right people.
So language and also shyness. I don't know what to call it. It's not introverted or necessarily, but it's really being able to know that this person, if there's an issue, they're going to call or they're going to reach out.
Yeah.
Because the people who don't reach out, that issue starts to grow.
Yes.
Right.
And we can't see that they have an issue because they are working remotely. So they have to contact us. And now the team in Romania is 30 people. So we have more, let's call it more people over there that can help each other. But definitely in the beginning, we had to find people that were able to contact us and that could knock on our door. Hey guys, this is not working well. You have to fix it.
Yeah, and that's kind of, it seems like it might be a little bit hard to see if it's that kind of person or not. I mean, you
yes.
can tell the ones who aren't going to do it at all, the really shy ones. You can tell that.
Yes, that is gut feeling, that is experience. And yes, sometimes you maybe hire people who you think are capable of doing that. And in the end, it turns out not. And sometimes you will maybe say no to candidates because you think they are not able to do it, but they are able to do it.
Right.
That's always a risk with recruitment, also in the Netherlands, of course.
Right. And in terms of hiring remote teams, you just never know. I mean, with anybody, you never know. Everybody's on their best behavior during the interview process. So it's months down the line when people start getting a little wacky.
Yeah.
That's when you find out. Oh, interesting. Okay. So those are the things that are really challenging and difficult. What are the things that work really well? I mean, you guys are doing this for a reason. You could hire people all in the same place probably if you wanted to. So what?
No, that's a good remark. No. We said 2 years ago within our department, we want to double the output of our department, R&D. You can do that by improving your processes, etc. But the biggest impact will be growing your team physically, adding people to the team. At the moment, we got 30 people working in Romania. I think that we would not be able to hire 30 people in the last 2 years in the Netherlands because of the local labor market.
There's just not enough developers.
No, not in our area. We cannot find them. I mean, we're doing something wrong. I don't know, but we cannot find them.
No, so I hear this from companies all over the Netherlands. There's just not enough developers, and people aren't willing to travel very far. So not only are you just looking in the Netherlands, you're looking to developers close to Den Bosch.
Yes. And it's a great place to work, and we still have open vacancies. So if you're interested, call us. But yes, you are right. So that was the main reason for us to go to Romania, to go abroad, and we decided to go to Romania to find people over there. So it's not about that we were able to find them locally. Things that worked out quite well is the location. I mean, one of the reasons that we went to Romania was for less travel effort, because you could also go to India or whatever. But we noticed that we find out that traveling to Romania is very easy to do. A 3-hour flight maximum, and from door to door in 5 hours you can be in the office.
Yep, that's pretty fast.
That's for us very important. So in case of emergency, if in case when it's necessary, we can be quickly there, or we can ask people to fly over to the Netherlands, also pretty easy. And what we find out is that the people in Romania and working when they have been abroad to the Netherlands, that it works quite well. That we really have a great team over there that we can really be proud of. So the cooperation is really great. And if that is because that we hire people on basis on who they are, what kind of personality they are, or that Romanian culture and the Dutch culture has a good fit together, I don't know. But it works out great. So that is one of the things that is doing pretty well for us. The interaction between the people.
Okay, and then with the US, why did you go to the US?
Yes, because US customers appreciate it, let's phrase it like that, appreciate it when you have local support.
So people that speak the language speak English without an accent that can help.
Yes, but also the fact that they expect to have support on American soil, that we can be there when necessary.
Ah, interesting.
But that was the reason to open a small development center over there.
Okay. And so in the US, now that's a much bigger time zone difference. So then I'm assuming that it's the difficulty is you've got Romania and the US, even on the East, and it's on the East Coast in the US?
Yes, the East Coast. So that is 7-hour time difference.
Right. So that's pretty big.
But pretty big. Fortunately, the people in Romania tend to start a little bit later in the office than in the Netherlands. So they come in around 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30.
Okay.
So that's probably okay. People in the US, in our office, they tend to start a little bit earlier, 8 o'clock, 7:30, because of the local traffic.
Ah, right.
So in the end, I think we have 3-4 hours time overlap per day.
Oh, that works.
So that's quite okay. The only issue is that when the developers in the US have issues with Team Foundation Server or other facilities, that we are not available anymore because we try to go home at 5, 6 in the evening.
Right.
And when they have issues, then they have to wait until the next day, or when it's really an urgent issue, they have to call corporate IT to fix that issue. But can sometimes be an issue.
Okay. Well, that could also still be an issue if you were working in the same. I mean, that can always be an issue.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay. And in terms of the culture, have there been any cultural issues coming up from, I mean, I don't know if the Romanian culture is, I don't know much about the Romanian culture. Maybe is it different than the Dutch or the US? Are there any weirdnesses there?
I'm pretty naive in that because I believe, yes, of course, there's cultural differences because I think there's already cultural difference between Rotterdam and the Bosch. I mean, that's a fact.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, but I also believe that every person is unique, and that every person, therefore, you could say, has a different culture than me because you are different than me. I have to approach you different than another colleague of mine.
True. I mean, you could say that men and women are a different culture.
Yes. So for me, as long as you realize that every person is unique, every person has a different manual, you need to approach different, has different weaknesses and different strengths.
I like that.
I think it's less an issue. But you should be aware that there could be differences between how people do things. One of the things that I notice in Romania is sometimes people try to be, when they tell something, to be complete. They want to give all the details. They want to give all the insights to make sure that they have a complete story. While we Dutch people sometimes think, okay, come on, cut the crap, come to your point. What do you want to say?
Right. I don't need the backstory. Just tell me
what's going on.
Yeah.
If it's bad news, just tell me the bad news. Don't give me all the details. But I know there are also Dutch people who would like to give all the details and would like to give all the background information.
And that is the danger of stereotypes.
Yes. So culture difference with Romania, yes, I think so. But does it bother us? Does it bother me? No, I don't think so. As long as you are aware that people are different, people can act different, people have maybe different values, I think it should not be an issue. And of course, the culture difference between the Netherlands and Romania is not that big. I mean, between the Netherlands and India is bigger.
Right.
Or China. So for us, it's not really an issue when I speak for myself.
Okay. Well, that's who I'm interviewing, so perfect.
Yeah.
I want your opinion. And it sounds like one of the main things that you do to build trust on your team is this face-to-face interaction. And it sounds like you guys are flying back and forth quite a lot.
Yeah.
Depending on, so you're getting lots of face-to-face. Are there other things that you're doing that you think help build trust on the team?
All meetings that we do, we try to do with webcams. We try to do open and transparent so that everybody can see each other. I mean, doing a retrospective in an Agile team without webcams, that's not done in my opinion. So I always try to make people aware of that. Hey guys, use your webcam when you call. Also, why are you not using your webcam, etc. Also giving the example myself, if possible. Other things that we do to build trust is to try not to make a distinction between people. I mean, I know there are companies who like to think about distributed development center. Okay, they can do the boring job, they can do the boring task, the easy task. No, why? Because also those people want to have a great job. They also want to have challenges. So treat them as your equal. And when we celebrate a party in the Netherlands, we also celebrate in Romania. We have the company kickoff in a few weeks. We will also have a company kickoff in Romania. And in the Netherlands, we go out for dinner. We will also go out for dinner in Romania to make sure that we treat the people in Romania as much as possible as the same. And of course, it's a bit different also because of the setup that we have with a local partner. But we try to keep as the same as possible, much as the same.
Right. So treating each other as equals and not as, hey, these people will do the cheap work.
No, indeed, because
I mean, who wants to be that person that's being
nobody.
referred to? I wouldn't either.
No, and they also not.
Of course.
So that's very important for me, and it's sometimes difficult, sometimes challenging, but that's something that I always try to focus on. Hey guys, treat each other as they were in the Netherlands. The only difference is they are 1,700 kilometers to the east, but that's the only difference.
Yeah. That's okay. I really like the video, of course, because I'm a huge proponent of that. I think that it's just a huge step up from not using video. And of course, being in person is a huge step up from video, but okay, if you have the choice, you should always use video, see the person.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like it. I mean, I know a lot of remote workers say, but I'm in my pajamas. And I think, get over yourself. Get out of your pajamas. Put a shirt on. Keep your pajama bottoms off.
I once had a call with somebody who was even in bed.
Right.
That was maybe a bit too much, but he was having the call from his bed.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because one thing that's been coming up with a person that I do a podcast with is our professional behavior online versus being in the office. You know, we used to go to the office and we would wear suits and nice clothes, and then now with remote working, what of those things? What transfers? You know, what of those things? Like, what is the professional behavior of remote working? And when you said that you have somebody joining from bed, it made me think of this webinar that I was on where there was this guy. And he was in his bedroom, and it was a really messy bedroom, and he had like a water bed in the back with turquoise sheets or something. And I thought, I mean, he was saying smart things, but I was so distracted by his messy room, I couldn't really focus. And I thought, oh, it's interesting. You know, it's unprofessional behavior in some ways.
Yeah, I think it's not about clothes, as long as you dress yourself normal and decent. And I mean, I don't have issues with casual clothes. But as you said, we also did remote interviews with people via Skype. In Spain and Italy and also in the US, and then indeed you're having an interview with somebody in his bedroom, and exactly as you said, books on the background, some mess. It's not professional.
Right. There's something. Yeah, it's advice I gave somebody who was asking me, like, how do I start working remotely? And I just said, make sure you have a great remote setup so that when your clients call, they have full faith in your capabilities, that you have a nice webcam, that you have good sound, good internet quality. I mean, just the basics really goes a long way.
Yeah.
Do you guys make sure, do you guys give equipment to your remote teams?
Yes.
Okay, so that's something that you also do. Interesting.
Yeah, they all get a webcam, they all get a headset. Some of them even take a headset from home if they want to have a better headset. So yes, we take care of that, because otherwise you cannot ask people to work remotely, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, if you ask, you need a carpenter to give the right tools for a carpenter to make something, also with the guys that work on our team. We have a dedicated Scrum room in Romania where the people can walk in, they can start up a link session right away, because that machine is always running, the same in the Netherlands, to make sure that the effort that required to talk to each other is as low as possible.
Right. So it's lightweight. I don't know if you've seen the video where it shows an online meeting in real life, you know, where there's people leaving the room and dropping out, and it's horrible.
Yeah, but that's also people getting used to it. I mean, in the beginning, people had a meeting at, for example, 1 o'clock, and they come in at 1 o'clock, and then they need to set up a link, they need to connect a laptop, etc. I said, guys, come on, if you have a remote meeting, you have to be in 5 minutes before the meeting to prepare everything. Yeah. Because at 1 o'clock you want to start, and you don't want to hassle with all kind of cables, etc.
One of my favorite tips. Yeah.
Yeah, and also if setting up the communication takes more than 5 minutes, then people already think, okay, leave it.
Right.
Because then it's too much effort. So it should be as low as possible.
Right.
The effort.
Right. So that you're not spending 30 minutes making sure all the cables are, which
Oh,
cable is it? Well, yeah.
yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah. It's a total waste of time. We all have work that we need to be doing.
Yeah,
That's the worst kind of work to be doing.
yeah.
So speaking of this, it brings up the issue of tools. So you say you use Link for the meetings. What are some of the other tools that you guys use as an Agile team? I'm assuming you've got some sort of a sticky note board or a.
Yeah, we use Visual Studio for tracking also the tasks, Team Foundation server, and we have a setup that everybody with a laptop can just plug in his cable, a network cable, and then he's on the network. So it doesn't make a difference. Again, no difference if you work from the Netherlands or from Romania. You got the same access to the network, etc., etc. Other remote tools, not really. We have discussed about the option to put in to install webcams in the team room to have view on the room. But some people in the Netherlands were a little bit not in favor of that because they were a bit scary about the privacy, etc. So we didn't do that. We experimented with whiteboards, but also there we had the issue, hey, how do you make sure that people on the other side can see the whiteboard? It didn't work out. So we are not that far with tools as we like us to be. We're still a bit behind. The only tool that we really use is screen sharing with Link, and that's it.
Yeah.
I know there are some electronic whiteboards that you can use to share whiteboards on both sides, and we really need to take a look at that, because having a whiteboard and being able to draw on it on the other side to see it, that's so much value.
Yeah, there are some great virtual whiteboard tools out there, that's for sure. But one thing that came up in an interview a couple of weeks ago from another Agile coach in Belgium is he said they each had the whiteboard in their own office so that each person could see it. And they took a picture a couple times during the week to send it to each other and to see, and it's an identical whiteboard. And he said, what's interesting is most of the time, everything is in sync, but every once in a while, things aren't in sync. And those were the things that the team needed to talk about because the other things were in sync. And so it was a conversation starter. So that was, I thought, wow, interesting. That's an interesting in-person, non-virtual way to.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's a good idea. It didn't work for us until now. So we really need to take a look at that.
Yeah, I mean, every team is different. That's why I think when it really stood out for me when you said you like to experiment all the time. And actually, I think that's one of the key things. It's really important that everybody experiments because you're right. This worked for this one team, but it didn't work for you.
Yeah.
It's not good or bad. It just is.
Yeah, because you can have the same setup with two whiteboards on each side and then have people linked together. If one person on one side moves a note that he should inform his colleague on the other side, hey, you're my buddy, you should also move that note to keep it in sync.
Right.
A lot of tools to do that.
Right, and so that happened. But it doesn't sound like you guys are suffering too much from.
No.
So it sounds like it's enough to have this communication link and screen sharing.
Yes, because I know when people don't have the right tools, they will start complaining.
Right.
It's simple as that.
Right. Interesting. So I'm looking at my list of topics, and let me open my management topic because you're in management. So, which brings up something. In a lot of interviews, people say, and I say, what's the barrier to remote working in your company? And they say, it's the leadership, it's the management. And clearly, you're the management in this situation.
Yeah.
And there isn't resistance. So was there some sort of a management resistance in your situation as well to remote working, or it was just clearly the right decision?
It was the right decision that we made 2 years ago with management and with the team itself also, because starting up a new software development center in Eastern Europe or India can be seen as a threat. Hey, they're going to move our jobs to Romania or whatever.
Oh, right. That could have an effect on team morale.
So what we did is with the whole department at that moment, okay, guys, we want to double the capacity. We want to double the output, I should say, double the output of the department. What can we do? And we had, I think, 3 or 4 brainstorm sessions with the team to think about it. And they could generate ideas. And there were ideas from, hey, finding interns, improving our process, more documentation, to train new people, including also setting up an external development center. And what we then did was, okay, let's take a look at the result it gives and the effort that it takes. And the effort to set up a new development center is high. You need to do a lot of investment. The results, the outcome, the impact is huge, because if it works, you can hire a lot of new people. So that's how we did it with the team. And indeed, setting up a new development center was on top left, top right. But everybody was involved in that discussion. And it was also clear for everybody, and it still is, that it was all about finding the right people. It's not about the cost, because maybe in the end we are even more expensive with the traveling and maybe a little bit less effective than people working on one location. So the team was in, management gave this assignment to the management of R&D. So with that exercise, with those that project, how we approached it, also having the people involved and thinking, hey, what can we do to set this up, to this challenge, we had no resistance. And of course, we had in the beginning the resistance, hey, I don't want to work with people abroad and I think it's scary and I don't want to speak English. But that took just a few months to get everybody in and to get it up and running.
Okay.
There was not really resistance from people.
But it sounds like because you included everybody in
Yes.
the decision-making process, so that you were working through the concerns and challenges together.
Everybody was involved. And of course, we did not start with the whole department at the same time. We started with one development team or two development teams. We got some colleagues from Romania. What we already did in the beginning, okay, we're going to hire developers and testers over there. So we have a team that's distributed over 2 locations as equal as possible. So they really had to work together. And we also made clear to them in the beginning, hey guys, the tools will not be perfect from day one. We will have some problems with Skype, Link, whatever we're going to use. But give us time and we will try to improve. And we did, week by week, month by month, until where we are today. And today we got 30 people in Romania, we got 45 in the Netherlands, so it's equal, and we are working together on a daily basis. And we are still hiring people in the Netherlands and in Romania.
Right, so starting small and then growing out. So you're not making this huge, massive change.
No, because we are just a small department. We were a small department of 40 people, 45 people. So hiring 10, 15 people at once, it will stop the department from working. It will too much overhead to get all those people on board.
Right, all the onboarding. That's a huge amount.
Yeah, and last year we hired, I think, 15, 20 people in Romania. And what you already see is that teams are a lot disturbed and are really in the storming phase and to get to know each other and to get themselves up and running.
Right.
So we try to add people every month, a few people to different teams to make it a little bit more graduate.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. And it gives, because you're right, the onboarding is really time consuming. It takes somebody a lot of time.
Yeah, and that's because we got 30 people over there now working as a remote team together with the Dutch people. They can also onboard themselves. I mean, when you start with one person, you don't have any knowledge about the process, about the culture, about your product over there. But now we got a lot of knowledge over there. People are experienced. People are already working 2 years with RES, so they know our products also. So they can help each other now.
Right. And is there anything special that you do with the onboarding process of new members? I mean, clearly you do the face-to-face, which is super important, that sounds like. And then, I mean, I'm sure as a company, you've got a whole onboarding process outlined by now with all these people.
No, we do it Agile.
Okay.
No, what we do, we give people an introduction indeed. We have some papers about what we expect them to know in the first week, in the first month, first half year, that they can look at. You need to know access. You need to get access to TFS. You need to know how TFS works. You need to know how the HR system works, etc. So that are challenges, things that they can find out themselves. They do the tutorials that we have available of our products. We will send a trainer to Romania to get them on board. But for the rest, it's really getting themselves, get them as soon as possible in a sprint team, in a scrum team, and just walk with the team. Just do some small tasks and see what you can do and slowly grow.
Right.
I think adding people to a team, assigning them to a team and having them working in a team, an experienced scrum team, that's the best way for new people to get themselves up and running.
That seems really like a great idea actually, because I know a lot of people will show up for work that first day and sometimes there's just nothing at the desk, like no, they haven't been cared for at all in terms of, I showed up at a job once and my first day, I basically sat there in the room. Nobody said, oh, this is this. I mean, nobody said anything. They said, here's your desk. And I thought, okay, I know how to work, but I don't know how to start. I don't know what your I don't know what your processes are. I don't know. It was a very awkward situation.
No, we have all facilities in place. We got the laptop in place, we got the headset, everything in place, and we always send an email to that person a day before they start or a week before. Hey, welcome to the team. This will be your buddy, probably sitting next to you, where you can ask questions. We expect you to do this and this in the first week, and enjoy your time at RES Software.
Wow.
And we do that for the people in Romania, and we do it for the people in the Netherlands. Again, the same approach, same process.
Love it. That way people aren't lost. And I think something that came up in a previous interview is that it's important for people to feel cared for, especially on Agile teams where it's really about people over process and interactions and communication. And
yeah, absolutely. And also because the people in Romania, when you make them feel at home as soon as possible, they will feel part of the team. They will feel part of RES.
Right.
Because it's even more difficult for them to become part of the RES team because they are working remotely.
Right. And they want to have pride in the work and confidence in their leaders. And
as everybody does.
Right. It's sort of a basic human need in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right above Wi-Fi and
yeah, nowadays, yes.
I love that. All right. Well, it looks like we're nearing the end of the, I wanted to keep the interviews a little bit shorter. People are saying 1 hour is too long. And of course I could talk forever about this. So then that's my fault. I ramble too much. But is there anything that maybe I didn't ask that you want to tell about your team? Something like a challenge or something that really worked, or did we cover most everything?
Oh, what really works? Good question. Yeah, what we did last year, that was really a great event. Also, again, face-to-face. We did it last year, 2014. We had a suite release, so we released all our products in February. 4 products, and what we did in March, we invited all the teams, all the people from R&D from the US and from Romania to the Netherlands. So we had at that moment, I think, 70 people in our office downstairs.
Wow.
There was way too many people in the office. So it was really crowded. 2 people sitting at one desk.
Yeah.
And we did, of course, we worked. In the evenings, we watched movies, we went out, we had some coding sessions, etc. And on Thursday, we had a great team event here in the surroundings of Den Bosch with all kind of things they could participate in. And in the evening, pub crawl. Great day. But that week, again, everybody, US, Romania, and the Netherlands in one location, that gave the team such a boost. That was a really great event. I'm going to do it again this year. But that's, again, as you said, face-to-face, because if you can work together as one team in one location, that is such a great feeling, and that's giving the team a boost. So that's very important. And I know it costs a lot of money to fly in everybody, and it is crowded in the office, etc., etc. But people are willing to accept that because it's such a great moment that week.
Right.
Celebrate success.
Right. And for people that don't know Den Bosch, it's beautiful. It is a beautiful town. So you're in these beautiful settings with woods and places to walk, and the pubs are lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a great event that we did last year, and what we're also going to do this year again, and probably also for the next years, because that's giving the team a really boost as a distributed team.
Right. What a bonding experience.
Indeed.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I'm convinced. I'm convinced. I've been trying to say, no, you don't have to meet face-to-face. And of course you don't have to, but if you can.
It helps so much.
Yeah, everybody is saying that. I got to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's true.
Yeah, it must be. It must be.
Yeah.
Actually, I've asked the experts, and this is what the experts have said.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got to go with that. So then one last question, which is, if people want to learn more about you or want to talk to you more, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Via LinkedIn, I think, because I also have my Twitter account, and they can always ask me questions or contact me for whatever reason, and I'm always willing to help and to answer questions.
Okay, so LinkedIn, though, go through LinkedIn. Your Twitter's listed there, and all the stuff is listed there.
Yes.
Yeah. Seems like a great, LinkedIn more and more seems like a great place for people to learn and network.
It is.
I'm liking it more and more myself. And Twitter, my God, what a great networking tool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. I really appreciate it. And I'll end the recording. So thanks for listening, everybody. Until next time, be powerful.